Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight let's journey into one of the most ambitious launches in recent memory. Blue Origin's heavy-lift rocket, the New Glenn, is set to chart a bold course into the future, not just orbiting Earth, but reaching toward Mars with a science mission that could reshape how we understand a neighboring planet. The New Glenn rocket stands as a statement of intent. With a towering height of 98 meters and powered by 7 B-4 engines in its first stage, it is designed to lift massive payloads into orbit and beyond. This isn't your typical launch vehicle. It's built to carry heavy satellites, interplanetary probes, and ultimately to compete in a league reserved for national-scale missions. Early testing and the maiden flight already proved that orbit is within reach, and now New Glenn is moving into its next transformational role. At the heart of this next mission is the Escapade mission, the Escape and Plasma Acceleration and Dynamics Explorers, a pair of identical spacecraft developed for the NASA to study Mars. These twin probes will journey to the Red Planet to examine how solar wind and the planet's magnetic environment interact, a story deeply connected to how Mars lost much of its atmosphere and changed through time. This is Mars exploration with a new lens, using focused, relatively small spacecraft to map powerful processes that shape planetary futures. What makes this launch particularly compelling is that New Glenn's second flight, NG-2, is earmarked to carry Escapade, meaning that this heavy-lift rocket is being trusted not only to deliver payloads to low Earth orbit, but to interplanetary trajectories. That leap itself underscores how Blue Origin is transitioning, from proving flight to executing missions with stakes higher than ever. It's also a signal that the company is stepping forward into competition for large, strategic missions, not just commercial satellites, but deep space exploration. But the story doesn't stop there. Reusability is a core promise for New Glenn. The first step is not just to reach orbit but to recover the first stage booster, land it safely, refurbish it and fly again, a business model designed to shift the economics of space launches. The company's ambitious goal: make space access more affordable, more frequent, and more capable. When you combine high-capacity lift, interplanetary missions, and reusable hardware, you're looking at the kind of platform that could power moon missions, Mars missions, constellations, and more. There are real challenges too. The rocket's first flight achieved orbit, but booster recovery was not yet successful. The timing of the second mission has shifted multiple times to ensure readiness. Precision, reliability, and safety matter enormously, especially when you're sending probes to another planet and entrusting scientific outcomes to this new hardware. The engineering, operations, and logistics are formidable. From a business and strategic viewpoint, Blue Origin is aiming to capture a market that is only going to expand. Satellites, science missions, national security payloads, all need higher lift, more reliability, and hopefully lower cost. By positioning New Glenn to serve those needs, Blue Origin is telling the market, we're a major player. For investors and analysts, this means watching launch cadence, reuse performance, contract wins, and competition. For space industry watchers, it means monitoring not just whether the rocket launches, but how fast it can be reused, how many missions it can fly, and what kinds of payloads it attracts. So what does this launch mean in the larger context? First, it reinforces that heavy-lift launch vehicles are crucial for the next decade to support lunar bases, Mars missions, large satellite constellations, and space infrastructure. Second, it signals that private companies increasingly bridge between commercial launch and missions once the sole domain of national space agencies. Third, it offers hope that costs may come down, access may scale, and new mission types may become feasible, from Mars exploration to space-based infrastructure and beyond. And finally, for us as observers, creators, and educators in business and finance, this is a narrative about risk, innovation, and reward. It's about stepping into the unknown, not because we must, but because the payoff may redefine industries. Blue Origin's New Glenn may well become a foundational asset for space commerce, science, and defense. But the first moves matter. Executing a Mars-bound mission, proving reuse, building launch cadence all count. In summary, Blue Origin is not just launching a rocket, it's launching a new era. With the New Glenn rocket tasked to carry the Escapade probes toward Mars, the company is staking its place in the heavy-lift game, in interplanetary science, and in reusable spaceflight. The path ahead will be hard. The risks are real. But the ambition is immense. It's about reaching further, going higher, doing more, and doing it in a way that reshapes how we think about going into space. Thank you for listening.